Previously on Yu-Gi-Oh!
And apparently on the side of owning a game store, he's a predator. Normally I do a whole intro explaining what we're about to see, my own personal history and all this stuff, but let's be real, I kind of said all that needed to be said in the last video, which you definitely like, comment, and subscribed to, right? And I'm excited to finally talk about some children's card games, so whatever. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Do I need to explain Yu-Gi-Oh! You know it, you love it, you clicked on this video probably because you saw it in the title. Let's talk about some card games, man. Our story begins in a place familiar to us now, where Yugi's teaching Joey how to play Duel Monsters, and all their friends are watching. Tristan, Taya, Bakura, and Miho. Wait. Guys, where's Miho? There's no time to be playing children's card games, we have to find her! I guess all those speeches about friendship were a lie, because instead of looking for Miho, Yugi instead brags that he's so good at this game because his grandpa owns a game shop, so he gets all the best cards for free. Damn, Yu-Gi-Oh! Teaching kids the harsh lessons about card games right up front. Doesn't matter how good you are at the card game if you're poor and can't afford the good cards. You know who isn't bored? Seto Kaiba, another kid in the class who seems interested in these rare cards they're talking about. Yugi takes his friends to his shop, which is just called Game Shop, by the way.
Hello? Game shop?
And they see Ji-chan's new rare card, a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Kaiba shows up and he's willing to give Granddad all the cards from the latest set for that one card. But this card was given to Gramps by a friend, so he won't sell. Kaiba decides to say fuck your friendship and beats this old man at a children's card game, which puts him in the hospital, because of course it does. And it turns out he doesn't even want the Blue Eyes for himself, he just wanted to get rid of it so no one could use it against him. Honestly, it's kind of a Giga-Brain move if you think about it. And that makes Yugi so mad, he goes through puberty super fast and decides to use his grandpa's deck to duel Kaiba.
What the?
Now, Kaiba, prepare yourself, because it's time to duel!
And even though Kaiba manages to summon 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, a feat never seen before, Yugi does something even more amazing. By gathering the 5 pieces of the legendary Exodia, he obliterates him, automatically winning the duel. Even gives him a good old mind crush for good measure. Taking down Kaiba has given Yugi some infamy now in the dueling world because Kaiba was the regional champ. And the creator of Duel Monsters himself, Maximillian Pegasus, is especially interested and even sends Yugi a package containing a glove, some stars, and a tape. And when Yugi watches the tape, Pegasus uses some weird magic to force Yugi into something he calls a shadow game. With only 15 minutes, whoever has the most life points by the end wins. Unfortunately, Yugi gets smacked up because Pegasus, using his Millennium Eye, can see all of Yugi's cards and knows what he's going to do even before he does it. Pegasus then exposits that he didn't create Duel Monsters, he stole all the designs and powers from ancient Egypt. And like his eye and Yugi's puzzle, there are other Millennium items out there. And so Pegasus is putting on a big tournament called Duelist Kingdom in order to lure the Millennium item users, including Yugi. But then Yugi says, why would I go when you just told me all that? I'm not going to help you. And Pegasus says, well, it's because I got your grandpa's soul, bitch. So Yugi, with great apprehension, decides to go to Duelist Kingdom to get his grandpa's soul back. Joey also wants to go because it is a tournament and there's a prize of $3 million. Wow, that's a odd number, now that I think about it. That wasn't a joke, that was just, I meant like odd, like, you know, strange. Unfortunately, Joey didn't get invited, but Yugi decides to Wang Jang of the rules, and only those with star chips are allowed to participate, which are the star objects from the box. Yugi decides to give Joey one of his 2, technically making him a contestant now. Yeah, I guess Pegasus and the rules committee were okay with that. On the boat, they run into 2 other duelists, including the current regional champ, Weevil Underwood, and the runner-up, Rex Raptor, as well as a fellow competitor, My Valentine, a woman who no doubt helped many of us through many a puberty.
You're either a champ or a chump. Cut this guy loose. He's fashion challenged and deserves to be crushed in the games.
Please, crush me.
Alright, Joey, relax. That's something I would say. Weevil's heard about the legendary Exodia Yugi used and says, hey, can I take a look at that? Yugi's like, sure. But he got underwooded as Weevil throws the 5 pieces overboard. Joey tries to get them back, but only manages to get 2. And when Yugi goes after him, it's revealed Taya and Tristan also snuck aboard to meet with their friends. That's when Joey reveals he needs this prize money for his sister Serenity, who needs a special operation for her eyes, I think, or she'll go blind, I guess, and the only way he can afford it is with the prize money, so now the group of friends are on their way to Duelist Kingdom to get Ji-chan's soul back and the money for Joey's Emoto. Gotta be real, I forgot how solid the opening for Yu-Gi-Oh! Was. Like, it does everything you need to in the beginning of an anime series. It sets up all the characters, the stakes, we know what people are going for, what they want to do, we know what every character's backstory is. We even know what to look out for, like characters like Weevil, Rex, Mai being potential enemies. Like, overall, the first 3 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Are still pretty solid. Well, let's pause this for a second, because first of all, let me just say, it is also crazy how a lot of us just kind of accepted a lot of things with this show without the context of the last season. I mean, it's obviously not necessary to watch it, we didn't need it in America, but it's kind of weird when you see that they reference things from the show, like Yugi and Joey talk about how they met, and they literally show stuff from the first episode of the original anime. They even show Ushio in the flashback. That's crazy, I never even realized he was there.
It's little Yugi, just in time to watch me mop the floor with these guys. Get back! Leave them alone!
I mean, not everyone made it. S for Miho, pour one out for her, because this is more of a soft reboot of the series rather than a continuation like it is in the manga. Obviously, things carried over, like Yugi's transforming and mind-crushing shadow games. We all know all this stuff now, but I noticed when watching it that Yugi and the others are kind of unfazed by everything, which makes sense now knowing all the shit they've been through since before, you know? So it's interesting thinking about it now as an adult, all the missing context from this when I was a kid. I was probably like, oh yeah, shadow games, ancient Egypt, makes sense to me. Also, I like the look of the show better than the last one. It hasn't even been that long, and it's not the best anime I've ever seen, but it's a huge leap in quality, probably because of a different studio, Gallop, who will continue to do Yu-Gi-Oh! Up until Vrains, which I don't know what a Vrains is, but it freaks me out. I didn't mind all the Japanese actors, but let me tell you, I missed my 4Kids dub. Sorry not sorry, but these voices are iconic to me. From Dan Green as Yugi to Wayne Grayson's Brooklyn accent for Joey, Amy Birnbaum's friendship speeches as Taya, to Tristan's overly stupid voice that I swear that was just a joke in the abridged series, but no, he actually sounds really stupid.
I still can't believe it. Pegasus used some kind of weird spell to grab your grandpa's soul away.
And of course, my nigga, Eric Stewart, as our boy, Seto Screw the Rules I Have Money Kaiba. Which if you didn't see my Pokemon video, dude not only voices Kaiba, but also voices Brock and James. If that doesn't show you the range of these actors, then I don't know what will. Speaking of, no, I didn't forget that we gotta talk about the theme song. I love the Yu-Gi-Oh theme. It might be more iconic to me than Pokemon or Digimon. From the beginning, that gives that mysterious tone to the upbeat techno, finally ending in this grand rhythmic orchestra that sounds like a hero's triumph. Like, how do you skip this intro when you watch this show? It's impossible. It's a shame most people outside of Yu-Gi-Oh only know it for one part.
It's time to
Again, not going to play most of it because copyright stuff, but if for some reason you don't know the original Yu-Gi-Oh theme, look it up. Do yourself a favor right now. Alright, last thing before we finally get back to talking about the show, we have to talk about a pretty big thing about Yu-Gi-Oh that I'm not really going to be talking about. The duels. Yes, I know, that's kind of the show, but look, most duels are just the characters explaining what the cards do or just making up what the cards do because they don't actually do that. Which for me, recapping the story is kind of useless to you and just a huge waste of time. I will mention cards and strategies here and there if it's interesting, and for the more important duels, I will describe them in slightly more detail, or maybe just ones I like. You know, I won't give a play-by-play, but it's going to be a more succinct description of it. Just think of this as the Cliff Notes version of Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, if you really want the full story, just watch the show yourself. I mean, why not? It's Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, fun fact, if you didn't know, you could actually watch all of these on the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Website, up until the series Zexel. Some of you, that might not be a big deal, but let me tell you, as someone who had to watch over 1,000 episodes of Pokemon last year and having to switch to multiple different streaming sites almost every season, this was a godsend. Alright, so we finally got all that preamble out of the way, so let's finally get to some duels. Arriving at Duelist Kingdom, Pegasus explains the rules. You duel all over the island, and you bet your star chips on the match, the ones that you got that fit in these neat little gloves. Once you collect 10, you qualify for the finals, lose all your star chips, and you're out. And then if you win the finals, you get the chance to face Pegasus in a duel yourself to become the king of games and win the prize money. So the question is now, who to duel first? Well, Yugi knows, the little snot that threw his Exodia in the ocean, Weevil. Yugi chases him into a forest where we see Pegasus' dueling arenas that are all over the island that have holographic projections of the monsters. The two begin a duel, but when Weevil plays his first insect, it somehow beats Yugi's mammoth graveyard, even though it had more attack. What's going on? Turns out Weevil has lured Yugi into the forest because these duel arenas come pre-built with field bonuses, and because it's in a forest, all of Weevil's insect monsters get a power boost. But it also has a percentage of other fields, so some of Yugi's monsters are getting a boost too. It also seemed to affect the animation. Guys, why do you look like that? This duel between the duelist who beat Kaiba and the regional champ draws a crowd, including Mai, who's only here to watch Weevil win, she says. Which looks like he might, because he manages to summon his most powerful card, the ultimate Great Moth. Not even Yugi's best card, the Dark Magician, can beat it. Mai pretty much says Yugi is done for, but Taya and the rest cheer him on with friendship and junk, which gets Yugi to come up with a strategy to drench the field in rain, which powers up his Summon Skull's lightning attack, taking out Weevil's monster and him from the tournament. But hey, Joey's here to duel too, and it's his turn. He's gotta earn some star chips if he wants to make it to the finals. But instead, they run into Mai again, who challenges Joey simply because she knows he's weak because Yugi gave him a star chip to get in. So obviously, he's the weakest duelist here, and she figures taking out the weakest first would be the easy way to victory. Joey accepts and doesn't start off so great, especially when Mai messes with him by somehow managing to play her cards even though she's not looking at them. Not to mention she multiplies her Harpy Ladies, overrunning the field with monsters. But Joey turns the tides, figuring out Mai sprayed each of her cards with different perfumes, and the smell helps her see what cards are which. And after figuring that out, the Heart of the Cards gives Joey his Time Wizard and Baby Dragon to take 1,000 Dragon. I'm sorry, I won't do that. I'm not going to do that accent the whole time. Anyways, made up card bullshit wins the day. Later, when going around the island, the gang run into another duelist named Mako Tsunami, who came in third behind Rex at the regionals. He challenges Yugi to a duel where we learn he wants to win so he can use the money to buy a boat to find his dad who was lost at sea. Cool, I attack your life points directly. Even though he loses, he won't give up and will continue dueling as him and Yugi earn a mutual respect for each other. Good to see not every duelist on this island is a dick. You know who is a dick? The staff who work for Pegasus, as they are about to throw some kid off the island, even though he says his cards and star chips were stolen. Yugi and the gang try to find the thief before the kid gets the boot. They do, and the thief really wants to duel Yugi for some reason. Yugi agrees, and through the duel, it's revealed the thief is Mokuba, Kaiba's Ototo, who was kidnapped by Pegasus earlier but managed to escape. It seems Pegasus is in the middle of a good old-fashioned hostile takeover of Kaiba Corp. Hey, Kaiba knows something about that. And he took Mokuba as some insurance. Oh yeah, after his duel with Yugi, Kaiba just kind of disappeared. No one knows where he is. I forgot to mention that. And because Yugi is the reason Kaiba left, Mokuba thinks taking him out will help Seto some reason. But Yugi convinces Mokuba that stealing's bad, okay? And when they go to return the stolen stuff, it's too late, and the hair guy, I don't remember if he has an actual name, tries to take Mokuba back. But Yugi challenges him to a duel, all of his star chips for Mokuba. But Yugi isn't dueling hair guy, he's dueling Kaiba's ghost? Yes, apparently some of Pegasus' goons found him, and he escapes by jumping off a cliff, seemingly dying.
Kaiba!
Yes, Yugi. It's me, Kaiba. And this time you don't stand a ghost of a chance.
Every kid show gets that line, I swear to God. At first, no one believes that it's actually Kaiba, but then he plays a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Alright, I mean, come on, he's got Kaiba's deck, that's gotta be Kaiba. But without Exodia, Yugi can't deal with multiple Blue Eyes at once. Luckily for him, though, Kaiba is alive, and
It was time to pay my dues. Never guessed that you'd be dressed in my clothes and in my shoes.
Is that the guy who sings the Pokemon themes? Huh, so this is what they have him do between seasons. Put in random tracks in a Yu-Gi-Oh episode that we're never going to hear again. Huh. Anyway, yeah, Kaiba is still alive and gets access to his Kaiba Corp systems, which allows him to hack into Pegasus' systems. And he learns all about Duelist Kingdom and that Yugi is dueling him? Huh? Obviously not okay with this, Kaiba hacks the system, weakening not Kaiba's blue eyes, giving Yugi a fighting chance. Then it's revealed this is technically Kaiba, the evil part Yugi banished to the Shadow Realm in the first episode, brought back by Pegasus. But no Shadow game can stop the meta, as Yugi uses a Monster Reborn to get one of the defeated Blue Eyes back and powers it up with anime bullshit to win and send ugly bastard Kaiba back to the Shadow Realm. By the way, this is why I love this dub. When you hear Dan Green as Yugi just say random bullshit, it sounds so commanding when he says it. Like, when you hear him shout some of these things, you shut up and listen.
I'll start with this card. Go! Dark Magician! With an attack strength of 2,500! Consider this a message from the real Seto Kaiba. You lose! Pegasus, I sense that you're watching. Consider this a warning. I'll win back my grandfather's soul, and you will pay for all the people you've hurt.
But uh-oh, in all the excitement, Hairdo Man made off with Mokuba. But Kaiba seems to be on his way to Duelist Kingdom now to help out. Meanwhile, Mai is easily getting star chips from losers, already up to 8, but is still annoyed at her loss to Joey. That's when Rex Raptor shows up, who wants revenge on Mai. Again, I didn't mention it, but Mai swindled him out of his room on the ship using that perfume trick. Mai has no interest in entertaining Rex, but decides to use this to her advantage, agreeing to duel Rex if he beats Joey for her. But this time, no friendship shenanigans, as Yugi can't help him like the last duel where he has to forfeit. While everyone, especially Tristan—
You've lost it, Joey. You can believe whatever you want, but I won't just stand here and watch you throw your chips away.
Tristan? What happened to your voice? It sounds normal now. Count on 4 kids to not commit and pull out. Joey accepts because he's tired of everyone seeing him as some charity case and always needing Yugi's help. And he might actually need it though, as Rex's dinos overwhelm Joey super easily. But after friendship, Joey is able to use Tristan's card to beat Rex's best card.
Who said that Serpent Knight Dragon Joey destroyed 2 turns ago was my best card? The Red Eyes Black Dragon!
A what dragon?
Oh, well, it was nice knowing you, Joey. Rex is so confident he will win, he even puts up his Red Eyes for Joey's Time Wizard, so he can use it in his duel against Mai. But unfortunately for Rex, Joey wins thanks to luck and anime logic, so Joey gets all his star chips and the Red Eyes. Later that night, the gang are roaming around hungry because I guess Pegasus expects a bunch of nerds who only leave their house to go to their LGS to forage for food. Luckily, they run into Mai, who is surprisingly generous and shares her food with them. She even starts kind of warming up to the nerds. Oh, good for her. Oh, I'm sure she's fine. Hey look, it's Pecora from school. What's he doing here? But whatever it is, it's probably for good and just reasons. Oh. I'm sure that's fine. Yami Yugi just has to win a shadow game to free their souls. It's business as usual at this point. And the Yugis meet again for the first time. God, I hate reboots. So yeah, like the last time these two faced off, which may or may not have happened, Bakura's soul comes back out and helps save the day, beating evil Bakura. And I'm sure we'll never see that evil Bakura again. Well, all is well that ends well. Oh shit, we forgot about Mai. Looks like she's been captured by Panic, an eliminator who's meant to go around taking star chips from duelists to make sure there are only 4 finalists. And he beat Mai in a duel, taking all of her star chips. Joey tries to step up, but Yugi says, no, this is my kill. So like I said, I'm not going into much detail with these duels, but this one is pretty cool, especially with the strategy that Yugi, or I guess more the Pharaoh, has against Panic, where he beats Panic with Heart of the Cards and stuff. I mean, we all know that, but mostly by playing mind games with him, because Panic uses the threat of death and darkness and all this with his Castle of Illusions to intimidate his opponents, and the whole duel, Yugi is like, nah, you're actually a bitch, and none of this works on me.
You are the boogeyman Panic, scaring children into being afraid of the dark. Until they realize the dark is nothing to be afraid of.
I am Panic, the Eliminator.
Is that supposed to scare me? Or are you running scared? You'd like me to crack, wouldn't you, Panic? Because it's worked for you before. Winning through intimidation, not through skill.
He even fucks with Panic on how he plays his cards, too.
A card that'll expose you and lift up that veil of shadows you cower behind. The Swords of Revealing Light! Of course. The card that will make you see the light.
He's taunting me. That must be the Swords of Revealing Light.
I said my Swords of Revealing Light is the card that would illuminate your monsters. I never said it was the one I placed on the field. You just assumed that.
Yugi gets all of Mai's star chips back, and she promises to return the favor. After that, guess who shows up? Kaiba Boy, here to save Mokuba, but he unfortunately runs into the Happy Friend Time group. And Joey eggs on Kaiba to duel him when he rejects help from the Super Friends. Kaiba accepts on one condition: they use his new prototype Beyblade, a dual disc. A special disc that lets people duel wherever and whenever they want. Sounds like a fad, I don't think it'll ever catch on. Joey loses easily and Kaiba fucks off. After his loss, Joey is having less confidence in his dueling, which makes him the perfect target for the Intercontinental Champ, Bandit Keith, from America, and his goons. Keith has a chip on his shoulder after Pegasus embarrassed him at a tournament by managing to predict his every move and even getting some random kid from the audience to beat him. And he's mad salty about that, so he's here using these jobbers to take star chips from other jobbers so he can make it to the finals easily. And it just so happens there's a jobber over there wearing a green jacket. So they kidnap Joey and take him to the graveyard field to duel Bones. Which doesn't go well for Joey since the graveyard field powers up all of Bones' zombie monsters. Not even Joey's red eyes can help him. Despite Bones not even being able to tell the difference between a magic and trap card.
Oh, wow. I had totally forgotten about this magic card, boss. This magic card is unstoppable! The Call of the Haunted. This trap card it's called Stop Defense.
Joey manages to get the dub after abusing the fact zombie monsters have no defense points by swapping their attack and defense points. Despite winning, the gang lose technically when Keith traps them all in the cave, and to add to his plans, he steals all the star chips his goons took from other duelists so he can go straight to the finals. Well, with nowhere to go, the gang just decide to go further into the cave and find a dueling ring, which is guarded by the Paradox Brothers, who will only let them pass if Yugi and Joey beat them in a tag duel, the first of its kind. And it gets crazier when they have to deal with their strange Labyrinth card and the ultra-powerful Gate Guardian. Too bad the Paradox Brothers didn't account for friendship. Then after solving a riddle the brothers rigged, Yugi and Joey get their star chips, giving them both 10, qualifying them for the finals. Meanwhile, Kaiba tries to infiltrate Pegasus' castle to save Mokuba, but of course Pegasus is 8 steps ahead, and just like Granddad, he traps Mokuba's soul in a card. Pegasus tells Kaiba if he wants to win, he needs to play by his rules, and meet Pegasus in the finals of his tournament. But Pegasus wants to make it even more interesting by saying, if you want to meet me, you gotta get star chips, specifically from Yugi. So waiting for the gang at the castle is Kaiba himself, who challenges Yugi to a duel, but doesn't reveal why. And surprisingly, Yugi is very logical about the situation, saying, no, I have no reason to duel you, Kaiba. I have way more important things to do right now. But he accepts because of Kaiba's determination, I guess. Also, for some reason, we now hear Teia's inner monologue. I don't know why, this has never happened before. And how she's worried about Yugi, and she even references several things from the original series, like about her part-time job, but doesn't mention that Tristan or Miho were there. And instead of Teiya being assaulted by a psychopath, she's assaulted by some random pervert. That 4Kids tries really hard to turn into a mugger in what clearly is a school's gym storage facility.
What's the matter, lady? You heard me. Give me all of your dough and make it quick.
Anyway, Yugi and Kaiba duel, and it goes back and forth until Kaiba is able to summon the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon by fusing 3 blue eyes together. It seems unbeatable until Yugi uses the power of Karibo and friendship to cause the dragon to deteriorate. Kaiba is about to lose. Kaiba does not take this well, considering losing means losing his brother, so he decides to take matters outside of the duel. By standing on the edge of the roof they are dueling on, saying Yugi has 2 options, surrender or attack, and the blast might be too much and send Kaiba over the edge. Little Yugi doesn't want to, but Big Yugi is like, psh, I'm not a bitch, and prepares to attack. But yelling from Taya, who, yes, has still been monologuing this whole time, gets Little Yugi to take control, stopping the attack and surrendering. So I guess Kaiba technically wins and takes Yugi's star chips, and then just to add salt to the wound, he calls him a pussy for not being man enough to finish the job.
If Yugi had done what needed to be done, he would be entering the castle, not me. But he was too weak to follow through on his play.
Wow, he called the guy a pussy for not killing him. That's such a Kaiba move. He leaves Yugi and goes to face Pegasus. And Yugi's not taking being out of the tournament and the whole the spirit of my puzzle almost made me commit murder thing very well, and has become a potato more or less. Luckily for him, Mai shows up, back to return the favor to Yugi for beating Panic. After getting her own 10 star chips, she got some extra ones to give to Yugi, but he's, frustrated that Yugi has given up. Instead of giving them to him, she says that he has to win them in a duel. But he's in no mood, so Taya decides to duel Mai, and she does okay, I guess. She kind of gives more speeches about friendship than actually dueling.
Maybe I am scared up here dueling you for such incredibly high stakes. But this card reminded me of something that helps me face that fear. My friends.
Man, you corny!
But I guess all those speeches and then seeing Mai surrender to Taya, even though she could easily win, gives Yugi the courage to accept the star chips and enter Pegasus' castle. And just in time to see Kaiba duel Pegasus. Kaiba tries to get Pegasus to use the duel disc, but Pegasus says he'll only do it if the Husk of Mokuba plays for him. Wow, kind of fucked up when you think about it. They duel in an arena, and we're done with the field bonuses now, thank goodness. But that won't save Kaiba, since you know Pegasus can read minds and stuff, and Kaiba loses badly to Pegasus' seemingly invincible Toon monsters. And now Pegasus has 3 souls to add to his deck. But don't worry, he's got room for one more little Yugi-boy. So now we're here at the top 4, including Yugi, Joey, Mai, and Bandit Keith. Yeah, he showed up a while ago. However, in order to participate in the finals, you need 1 of 2 glory cards. If you beat everyone and come out on top, then you can use the money card to get the money as the prize, or you can use the blank one, which lets you challenge Pegasus. Joey not having one again, Yugi decides to give him the money one since he doesn't need it. And we get the matchups, Yugi versus Mai in round 1 and Joey versus Bandit Keith. It's nighttime before the finals though, and Yugi is still not into the whole the other me tried to murder someone thing, but a dream where his grandpa visits him convinces him to at least try to trust it. Joey, instead of preparing, is asleep, which he shouldn't be because Bandit America Keith also weaseled his way into this tournament and doesn't have a card, so he decides to yoink Joey's. Mai is doing what the others should be doing and coming up with strategies to beat Yugi. And then there's the jobbers, Tristan, Taya, and Mikora, who go snooping around the castle because Tristan is convinced Pegasus is cheating somehow. They wander too much and find a picture of a mysterious woman, and Pegasus does not like this at all, and is about to send them all on a trip to the Shadow Realm, but this triggers the evil spirit in Makora's ring to come back, who inadvertently saves them, but yeah, Makora ain't in control of his body anymore. The next day, the finals begin. It's Yugi versus Mai, and Yugi does transform again, but he doesn't do good at all. He summons monsters in attack mode all the time, easily falling for Mai's traps and setups. Even Joey points out that Yugi is dueling like a Joey. Even Mai is constantly egging on Yugi, trying to get him to step up. And everyone is right, because while the Pharaoh is dueling, Yugi is holding him back in their mind, because he still doesn't trust him. But the two decide to come to an agreement when he agrees to never go against Yugi's wishes again, and he was really just trying to help save his grandpa.
I meant no harm. I only wanted to help, and I vow never to go against your wishes again.
So with that settled, Yugi is back. But that doesn't matter, because Mai has ultra-powerful monsters on the field, and he has dick all. So he makes a gamble to thrust in the heart of the cards and try to summon the legendary Black Luster Soldier, something no one has ever done before. So thanks to plot armor, heart of the cards, Yugi beats Mai and gets over his hump, knocking Mai out of the tournament. Now it's time for Joey versus America, who is sleeping. That's pretty American. But Joey is panicking because he doesn't know what happened to that glory card Yugi gave him. Oh shit. He only has 5 minutes to find it or he'll be disqualified. And Keith is ready to laugh his way to the final since he knows it's impossible. And it looks bad until Mai, being a real one after hearing about Joey's sister, decides to give him her card. Because she doesn't need it anymore, she's not in the tournament. And she leaves Duelist Kingdom saying she'll probably see them all again someday. Joey then returns and begins his duel with Keith, which doesn't go well because of dumb anime rules mostly.
All of my machine monsters are protected by magic-resistant armor, so that makes all of your magic attacks worth squat.
Especially since Bandit Keith is cheating, having cards hidden up his sleeve. But even that doesn't help him as Joey manages to get the dub. And of course Peggy knew about the cheating all along and ejects Keith from the island. Now it's time for the Battle of the Buds, Yugi versus Joey. What the hell is that? Someone was paid to make that. This is why dubbed anime is great, guys. Do you see?
It's been you and me hanging out playing games.
Honestly, the duel is kind of boring. It is neat seeing Joey match up to Yugi, but that's about it. I mean, let's be real. We all know there's a way better duel between Yugi and Joey later. So let's just skip that. Yugi wins. Let's all get to what we are here for. The final battle. Yugi versus Pegasus. The match of the millennium. The winner becomes the king of games, and if Pegasus loses, he has to release all the souls he's trapped. But if he wins, he gets to add a Yugi-boy to his collection. My favorite card. Too bad for Pegasus, Yugi has got his groove back now that he's... Oh, right, the whole reading minds thing. Yeah, that's a bummer. But the Yugi's actually come up with a pretty sick way to deal with this, where they have Yugi play the cards, and then switch to Yugi, who doesn't know what Yugi played. So Pegasus can't read Yugi's mind because Yugi played the card, not Yugi. And this strategy works as they manage to beat Pegasus' unbeatable tunes. It's really simple when you say it like that. Oh yeah, meanwhile, Tristan is for some reason trying to save the bodies of Mokuba and Kaiba, which overall doesn't really accomplish anything. Seriously, like, why does that matter? Back to the real action, Pegasus is kinda pissed now and takes Yugi-boy to the Shadow Realm to participate in a shadow game. And the shadows are too much for little chibi Yugi to handle, and he collapses, playing one last card face down that Pegasus doesn't know what it is. So now it's just the Pharaoh alone, but with no Yugi, Pegasus can read his mind freely. Or can he? Cause he no longer can, cause of the power of friendship. Like I said before, I mean that literally. Friendship prevents Pegasus from reading Yami's mind. I don't know how, but it does. And then Yami manages to win using the last card Yugi played, a ritual card, summoning the Magician of Black Chaos, and, you know, some Kuribo shenanigans, beating Pegasus and his Thousand Eyes relinquished, saving the day. But after the duel, Pegasus disappears, so the gang try to find him so he can release everyone's souls from the Shadow Realm. Surprisingly though, Pegasus does this, honoring his deal with Yugi, but uh-oh, guess who's back? And now that Pegasus is weakened, evil Bakura takes his Millennium Eye. While trying to find Pegasus, Yugi runs into the real Slim Shady. He's back. Well, okay, he's not back. Yugi's meeting him for the first time. Gotta hate reboots. And it's really similar to that one episode from Season 0 where Shady goes into his mind and hints at the Pharaoh's past and stuff. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering why I've been calling him Yami, this is why.
And I don't even know your name. I've been called many things through the ages. Pharaoh, Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been known as Yami.
And so it's all over. The gang decide to hitch a ride back with Kaiba because Kaiba and Mokuba are back in their bodies, and Yugi's grandpa is even healed. Hooray. All's well that ends well. And that's technically the end of Duelist Kingdom. I mean, they leave Duelist Kingdom, so that's the end. And that's where I'm going to end this. Now, there are a couple episodes in between this and the next arc, Battle City, that I don't think count towards anything. They're like their own little thing. I'm just going to include them in the next bit. Especially considering a lot of the next couple episodes are set up for the Battle City arc. But yeah, that was the original Duelist Kingdom, and let me tell you, it was still really good. I was kind of shocked. No, I think this was legitimately a well-written arc. Again, the motivations were all there. We want to see Yugi and Joey win, and we know exactly why they need to win. Taya and Tristan were there. They tried to give him stuff to do sometimes, you know, like with Taya snapping Yugi out of it. I guess that was kind of cool. Tristan really doesn't have anything to do. I mean, yeah, I guess he finds Kaiba and Mokuba's bodies, but again, that doesn't really accomplish much in the grand scheme of things. It's also crazy, as someone who, look, spoilers, I have seen all of this original series by this point, and seeing how much they set up Bakura in the beginning is really cool. Like, it's kind of crazy how much they planned all this, I guess, even since back in Season 0. Maya is a great character too, not just because, you know, but she really hammers home that, you know, whole turning your enemy into your friend thing that Shonen Jump manga are known for. You know what I'm talking about. Seeing her go from this vain loner who's really full of herself to actually kind of liking Yugi and friends, and even helping them out, getting Yugi a star chips, and even giving Joey her card, which you didn't have to do. Like, say what you will about Maya, in this arc, she's a real one. Even the antagonists were pretty cool. Of course, I mean, we all love Kaiba, and there's more about him later, so I'm not really going to talk much about him now. But Weevil's such a smarmy little bastard, you just want to see Yugi kick his ass. Rex is fine, I got nothing to say about him. Bandit Keith is also just a slimy little asshole that you want to see Joey beat. And I kind of like how all of them, I guess besides Rex, really kind of hammer home that whole fact of, you know, cheating, being a loner, not really relying on friends or others' help, you know, trying to be out for themselves. And then, of course, you got Pegasus, who is such a good villain. I think we all know this. Like, not only is he a super evil bastard, like seriously, bringing Mokuba out for his duel with Kaiba saying he's gonna have to duel, that's really messed up. But just the fact that he's this flamboyant, over-the-top guy who loves cartoons and duel monsters and shit, it's just like, you can't help but love him, you know? Like, yeah, he's technically an evil bastard, but at the same time, he's a fun evil bastard.
Where do these guys get all their ideas?
I will say the only thing I really didn't like going back to this were the duels themselves. As you may have noticed, I didn't talk about them that much because really, especially in early Yu-Gi-Oh, a lot of the duels are won by friendship and made-up bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong, many duels in many other Yu-Gi-Oh series are won through made-up bullshit. That's kind of how this card game is designed, unfortunately. But as we're going to see in not just the next season of this, but even other series of Yu-Gi-Oh, there are other ways to win a card game. I mean, I'm sure we all know this if you've played a card game. You know, winning more based on strategy rather than, you know, hard the cards. But I guess in a way, that's also why Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of awesome, is because it has stuff like that. I don't know. All I'm saying is, besides the Panic one, most of them were not really that interesting to me. But hey, we got way more duels to go for this because the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters is actually the longest season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Clocking in at a little over 200 episodes. So yeah, we are nowhere near done with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you join me next time for, in my opinion, the peak of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Battle City arc.
How'd it come to this, after all we've been through? Two of a pair, now on opposite sides. From the very start, with honor we